Okay, here's part 3 of the installment for illegal drugs. Methamphetamine is a drug that we talk a lot about. It is a synthetic drug, highly, highly addictive. We hear stories about meth labs on the news, seems like every night. And it is a big problem. Working in the prison system again, I see a lot of crime revolving around the production of, maintaining of, and use of methamphetamine. In the U.S., almost 15 million Americans over the age of 12. That's roughly 6% of the entire population reported using this drug. Juvenile court judges report growing numbers of adolescents who are going to court due to the manufacturer's sale and or use of this drug. So it's really, it's still a big problem. Has been for years and continues to be. We could talk about other illegal drugs, but I don't really want to waste a lot of time with that. I've kind of talked about the major categories of drugs, including alcohol, that adolescents and young adults, especially your all's age, use. Now, the use of illegal drugs in the U.S. by age. This is the percentage of people within this age range, or within each age range, reporting that they have used illegal drugs in the last month. Ages 12 to 13, 3.3% of people in that age group in this survey reported using drugs within the last 30 days. Ages 14 to 15, it was 8.9%. Now we're getting into your all's age groups here. 16 to 17, 16%. 18 to 20, 21.6%. It's like late high school, early college years is when drug use seems to spike. And then from ages 21 to 25, so you're talking about, college years, maybe a little bit beyond college, 18.5%. And then the numbers continue to go down after the age of 25. But it's really at these young ages where, drug use is at its highest. So what are factors that make a young person a high risk for later substance abuse or use after initial use? Sometimes, again, people use one time and that's it. They're done. Just, they experiment with it. But there are some risk factors that can propel the person into a pattern of using, which turns into abuse or dependence. Early initiation. Any use of any drug by the age of 10 to 12 creates a risk. School problems such as low grades, truancy, or behavior problems. Family problems also can exacerbate this initial drug use and turn it into abuse or a more sustained pattern of abuse. Lack of parental support, lack of parental guidance can also correlate with drug abuse. Peer influences. Relationships with peers or friends who use illegal drugs or who endorse them, and people who have an inability to resist negative peer influence. Also, personality. People don't really think about this a lot, but it's true. People generally think of the high school kids who are drinking alcohol and using drugs are the ones who are easily led, they're easily influenced. They would jump off a bridge if their friends were doing it. And maybe there's some truth to that, but really, it's the high school students who are in your all's strata of society. It's a lot of times the ones who are very intelligent, who are non-conforming, who are strongly independent, who also are at a big risk for using illegal drugs or alcohol. Like I said, I was probably a part of that group in high school. I hung around with a lot of different students, but my core group were the ones who were they were doing well in school, they were independent, they really didn't conform a whole lot, they just kind of did their own thing. And I would say all of them, except for myself and one other person, were using some kind of illegal drug, probably marijuana, and drinking alcohol on a regular basis. So personality, nonconformists, rebellion, students or adolescents who are rebellious, strongly independent, also are at a greater risk for of using illegal drugs. And the last point that I want to make that I didn't make, and then we'll call this the end of part 3. Dependence. Now we talked about use, and you want to write this down. Again, use, you've already got this in your notes. You may try it once or twice. It may be experimental. It may be medicinal. Abuse is a sustained pattern. A sustained pattern, like we've talked about, that gets people into trouble in school, with the law. Now dependence, and write this down because I didn't put a slide in here for this. If someone is dependent or addicted to illegal drugs, they literally cannot function without it. They have to have it. Their bodies are physiologically dependent upon that drug. And that's a step beyond abuse. And that's where you see even more problems in school or with the law. Someone who is dependent upon illegal drugs, your age, probably wouldn't be able to be in school for very long. This person would probably be in a rehab facility, or, God forbid, in a not good spot, or in a not good place outside of the school system, unless they got some help. So the dependence part is beyond that. Now, your book talks about a lot of substance abuse disorders and dependence-related disorders specifically, and I'm going to send you guys some slides and some statistics and some other things separately from these videos for you to keep. So again, we'll call that the end of part 3, and be on the lookout for some other things that I'm going to send with these videos soon. Thank you.